Hello children, welcome back to English class. Good morning everyone. Hope you have done the assignment given on Monday. Let's have a recap of part 1. In the last class, we discussed about the tantrums of Tom Sawyer. He found to be miserable and want to stay at home away from school. He made many attempts to detect some symptoms in himself so that he could stay at home, and suddenly he found that his upper front tooth was loose. He took it as an excuse for not going to school. But he remembered that his aunt would pull it out if he would caught. So he kept this excuse for future use. He thought of some way to fake illness. He remembered that his toe was sore and he found it as a better idea to avoid school for 2 to 3 weeks because he heard his doctor saying that if a finger is removed from the body, the person can stay at home for 2 to 3 weeks. So he started groaning in pain. The word groaning means make a deep sound conveying pain. Tom's cousin, Sid, who is lying on the bed beside him, gets up. Then Tom starts telling about his sore toe, that it is going to fall down from his body. Sid feels afraid of that and runs to Aunt Polly, saying that Tom is going to die. Aunt Polly felt so frightened and she ran upstairs to Tom and asked what happened. Tom replied, Aunt, my toe is going to fall off. She started laughing and said, Nothing will happen. Tom, you really frightened me. Come on, just get up and get ready to school. Then Tom thought that he was caught and he finally thought of another excuse. He complains to Aunt that his upper tooth was loose and is paining awfully. Aunt checks his mouth and says that nothing happened. It is simply loose. I will take it out from your mouth. Then she called Mary to get a silk thread and a chunk of fire from the kitchen. Now Tom got frightened because Aunt is going to extract his tooth. Then Tom said, Oh, please, Auntie, don't pull it out. It doesn't hurt me any more. I don't want to stay at home from school. He finally admits that he found excuses to avoid school. Tom, I love you so much, but I am very unhappy with you, says Aunt Polly. By this time, the dental instruments were ready. Aunt Polly tied one end of the silk thread to Tom's tooth with a loop and tied the other to the bedpost. Then suddenly she seized the chunk of fire and thrust it almost into the Tom's face. In fraction of seconds, the tooth hung dangling by the bedpost. Here, the word dangling means hanging. Here the story ends and finally Tom's excuses failed and he lost his tooth. All his efforts and excuses of not going to school didn't work and finally he had to go to school. So, this is the story of a child who plays tantrums to avoid school. Children, what do you expect a moral from this story? Moral is, do not play tricks with your parents as they are more wise and experienced. Now, let us go ahead with difficult words in the lesson. Here are the new words from the lesson. Mourning. Make a long, low sound of physical or mental suffering. Groaning. Make a deep sound conveying pain. Dangling. Hanging. Chunk. Solid piece of something. Outrageousness. Shocking behavior or going beyond sufficient. Seized. Take hold of suddenly and forcibly. This is all for today. Thank you, students. Meet you in the next session. Bye bye. See you.